think a lot of artists and animators get this question at some point, mainly from people who genuinely want to know how people animate or draw certain things. When I first mentioned this in a poll, I didn't think anyone would be too interested in tutorials or how I draw my character, and to my surprise, but not full shock, people wanted to know how I draw my characters. So here it is. Hello there everyone, buddies, and casual viewers, and whoever happens to find this video. My name is Haven, and today I'll be showing you how I draw my dragons and cats, as well as throw in some basics I learned while using FireAlpaca and any tips for artists looking to get into digital art themselves. Grab your drawing tools and let's begin. So let's start off with the one thing I've been drawing for years, and that is cats. To start things off, I always make sure to do a sketch. I usually use the rough pencil tool that's about the size of 15 to figure out where I'm going to go with it. To start off, we're going to go ahead and draw the head. I forgot to switch over to my red. This is somewhat scripted and unscripted, so bear with me. Obviously, you do want to start off with the head, and then you're gonna want to draw your guidelines, which would be these things. Next, I usually do the ears, which usually they're kind of like triangles, curved triangles, and then you do like that. And then there's sometimes the head tuft first. I guess it just really depends on how I'm feeling and what I want to draw that day and how I'm going to draw it. Next, we do this little like heart shape for the nose and the little 3 for the mouth. The eyes, they're kind of like a round oval where it's like that. On the inside, it's just a smaller oval. And next I usually draw the cheek fur. Now if I need to size it down, I'll get to that in a minute, but this is just kind of like the basics right now. So then next I work on the chest and the neck floof, which I then do the little leg here. Hold on. I usually do the back. Sometimes this is not meant to be perfect, so ignore the fact that it looks like this. Once I get the back, I do the leg, and then it kind of goes out like that. And then I kind of bring it around to make it the hip. If the legs look stubby, I'm sorry. This is just a quick tutorial. It's not like a crazy speed paint or anything. I bought my mic. Yeah. So then there's the front leg. Here's the other front leg. Obviously, I would usually do the shoulder first and then do like this little fur thing. And then just kind of bring it around like that. But, like I said, sometimes it changes depending on my thing. So next I draw the belly fur. And then I kind of create this like curved shape with the little leg. So something similar to that one, just a little bit maybe more sharper. More often than not, you would like extend it down like that. But sometimes I don't do that. So then I usually just add those. And then for the tail, it can be any shape and size. I'm just showing you like my usual long tail, which usually makes more sense. And then there you go. From there, I can show you how to draw the side, like the kind of like somewhat half side view and side view. So obviously we'll start off with the side view since it's easier. So like I said, normal circle. I don't usually use guidelines this time, so I guess depending on what your preference is, you can use guidelines. But then I make this little shape here. Sometimes I'll put a circle here to see, like, where is it up? Let me back this up a little bit. I've started using the little circle method I've seen people use. Obviously, it's still not perfect. Definitely needs some work, but that's kind of how it can be done. Next, I usually draw the ears, which usually gives me a little bit more of a, yeah, that's what I usually draw. Next is the fur. I'll bring down the neck a little bit, and then we draw the floof. You can choose whether or not you want to do the floof. That's totally up to you guys. Next, the head tuft, and the little eye. And the circle's only going to be kind of like a half, so that way you have facing this way. And the 3 is going to go up like that, and it's going to go like that. So there's your side view. This gives you the chance to, like, once you're ready for it, you can start doing like, you know, the whenever you do the opacity and such, which I do need to cover at some point. But then we have the semi side view, which is like this. So obviously I usually use the guidelines in this case. So I bring this down and around. Obviously I got to keep that as small as possible because these are not dragons and these are not super massive. So I think we'll go with a floppy ear this time. So this would be the side view, so you'd have like an eye looking like that and another eye looking like that, I guess, depending on that eye to nose shape right there and how far apart the eyes are. Obviously they're not going to be, because of like how the angle is, this is like not a perfect example, but yeah. So then there's your side view, or your half side view. I'm going to fix the eyes because they look horrible. Often not when you're drawing like this, you might want to do something like that. So it kind of looks like it's looking at the camera. And then obviously you can add your cheek fluff, or if it's a hairless cat, you don't have to add it. Yeah. But that is how I draw a cat. I'm not very good at these tutorial things, so I'm sorry if that was a little bit faster. Maybe if I do another tutorial in the future, it won't be as fast. But let's go ahead. So now that you know really kind of how to draw these a little bit, let's go ahead and start on the dragons, since those would take a little longer. As always, I start with the circle for the face before slowly working on the snout, so this can be, here's the head, and then I've been trying to like do the little jagged thing I've seen people do, and so far it's helped a little bit, but my dragon heads still look kind of round, or my snouts. So obviously this depends on the type of dragon you're doing, and I probably won't go into the basics on how I usually draw the tribes. So we're just gonna stick with like one, which will be the rain wing. So once I usually finish up with the head, the horns come next, which is just kind of like a little swervy, and then I usually draw the little horn. Next up is the ear, which it's gonna like make sure you have it connected to this. And then for the rain wing frills, I usually draw them connected to the horn, because if you look at some of the artwork on the covers of the books, they actually have like the frills. Is that what they call them? I'm not sure. They have the frills connecting to the horn, and then you just draw the little things right there. So next I sometimes draw the eye, and that's gonna kind of be like the cat one. You could make it like sharper or smaller. This is how you're gonna do it. This is just how I draw it. So there's that. And next I usually do the body, which is like this. So I have to like figure out where the neck would connect and then bring it down. So obviously I'll do like an open wing later, but because of like where it's positioned and how big it is, obviously you can make the rough pencil tool as large, like the size as large as you want to, but my recommended size is 15, so you can see what you're doing. I'm gonna go ahead and do the select tool here real quick and show you. I will explain this in a minute, but I want to make this small enough so you guys can, so I can actually draw the legs. Okay, so yeah, so usually it's the shoulder next, and then the like, what is it, the jagged part of the shoulder. Obviously I think I have to bring in the chest just a little more, so let's go ahead and do that. And then we bring in the leg. Obviously this is not going to be perfect because it is a sketch, so I will probably perfect this later if I wanted to, because I have to draw little Mossfire later. So yeah, obviously I kind of do the same shape as the cats because I'm not very good at drawing talons yet. But yeah, there's that. So how I draw closed wings, I was kind of inspired by Cypress and Gunscone all together, and because I don't watch Cypress as much anymore, just because like her content's become a little boring to me. Like, no offense to people who still watch her, I liked a lot of her what ifs, but I'm just not too much in the waft sphere as I used to be, so. But yeah, I've been kind of improving. This is obviously a little bit skinnier than you've usually seen, but yeah, this is like, so basically it's almost like the same concept as the dragons, so as the cat. So like, you know, you do the wing enough to cross over, then you do the little leg thing like I did. For the tail, I don't usually go the full curl. I just do that much of a curl, and then I sometimes bring it in like this. Obviously that's not perfect, but that's as good as I'm gonna get it. Actually, this is like an improvement from my previous dragons, which is crazy. Next, I usually draw like the little like scales, like this, and then sometimes I will go ahead and outline where I need to put the, like where I'll put the chest, where the little like scales for over here goes. So something like this. And they're kind of like rounded squares almost. And then I will do like the little curve for the rain wing here. And sometimes I'll do this. And then, you know, I'll mark out whatever markings are here. Obviously some of these are covered. So, and yeah, there you go. That's how I draw dragons. This is just the, you know, little side view. I'm gonna move you. So let's talk about how I draw like the semi-side view, like the cats, because I haven't mastered the front view. So, because the front view usually looks horrible, and I'm currently working on that. So let's start off with the circle. Obviously, we're gonna use the same method as the cats, because that's how I technically started. Obviously, you can tell a lot of my designs are very much like how I draw. My style is very much based off like my years of experience in drawing cats, so I'm sorry if it's a little annoying, but keep bringing it up. So there's the face. I sometimes draw the eyes first, depends, so I can figure out where to put the horns. We'll make Python here our example. Next we do the horns, which are gonna look about the same, but I think this horn's definitely going to be more prominent, and then you're going to add this horn like to kind of go like that, and it'll also still have that prominent look, but it won't be like as prominent as this one. So next we draw the neck. Like I said, this is not perfect, this is just a sketch. And then there is the ear. The ear also changes every now and then, so if it looks different one way than the other, it's not perfect, but it's definitely there. So then the frills. Now let's talk about, so that's just kind of how I do that. Obviously I'm gonna go ahead and mark this out. We're gonna give her burns real quick, because she can't be Python without her burns. So let's go ahead and talk about how I draw the wings. So basically when I have them open, obviously they'll be connected to this part of the shoulder. So it'll kind of look something like this. So obviously here's the shoulder curve, and so that's where it'll go, and then it'll curve like this, stick back up like that, and go up like that. There is the one end and how I have that pointed. Then this will later connect with this wing, part of the wing, but this is obviously too thin to actually be a dragon wing, but this is just kind of an example. So it just kind of like spikes out like this, and then eventually this bit connects to that bit. And then sometimes I'll draw in these little like fan things to give it texture. Sometimes I'll add a little thing there. Sometimes there can be a little thing there. It just depends on how you want to do it and how accurate you want to go, but this is just my style. So now that we have that figured out, let's go ahead and jump into how I use my tools. So, gotta flip my script a little bit here. So basically, your basic tools are going to be your brush, eraser, select, move, color selector, and opacity tools, as well as your layers. To kind of start things off, the brush tool is one of your two main tools. It obviously draws on the canvas and gives you many options for types of brushes and several options for brush sizes. So here is the little brush thing over here. I don't know how it's gonna look in OBS, so if it looks different than what I have currently, I'm sorry about that. But this is like the brush settings, and then over here is the brush sizes. Up here is your color wheel, and you can hit, I think it's Control B for brush, and then like depending on the type of thing that you have, more often than not it will show up. But yeah, the eraser is the same way. You just click on it to switch over, or if you have like a button on your pen to switch things over with, you can. That just shows you like the type of erasers and the eraser sizes you can do. So let's give a little bit of example. This is a 15. This is a 300. So yeah, kind of like stuff like that. Your next tool is a select tool. FireAlpaca gives you 4 select tools, but I'll only be going over the main 3. Your first one is the rectangle. So what I showed you earlier, obviously you can drag this over. If you're on PC, you can do that. If you hit Control T, that's how you can move and resize things. If you want a more accurate way to kind of like make it so like you can do it more accurately, you can use the lasso tool, which let me hit deselect real quick. You can also use the little tabs at the top to select, deselect, all of these, but I might go over that in a separate video. This is what the lasso tool looks like. So just like, so yeah, it gives you like a more accurate thing. So I'm not going to go that far, so we're just going to connect it and call it good. So it gives you like a more accurate than the rectangle, because it kind of gives you the chance to, you know, specifically do it. So the last one I want to go over, well, I guess there was more than just 4, but anyways, last one I'm going to go over is the magic wand tool. So basically you can use this to help you color inside the lines. So let's say, you know, oh, I'm done with line art, I want to go ahead and color this cat. Basically what I can do is I can hit shift and click the background. So obviously you see that this is selected, right? You can ignore those bits over there. Basically I'll hit select and inverse, and this, let me pull up a brush here. Let's go blue. Alright, so obviously I can take this and now I can color it in, and you can see where that X is a little bit. I don't know how big that's gonna look, so yeah, there it is. There is the color. I don't know why it's kind of flashing red. It might be because of the red things, but yeah, there's that. And that will help you color inside the lines. You can also use it to help you color line art, but we could probably go in depth in that in another video. So let's go ahead and deselect here. The move tool, obviously, that's just like your basic. I accidentally inversed that instead of deselecting it. Basically, your move tool is it's the crossroads one. It's hiding from me. There it is. Basically, all this does is, I gotta delete this real quick. All this does is it moves your character around. You can move it side to side from the screen. So if you need it somewhere specific, you can put it somewhere specific. Let's go over, okay, well, obviously I missed the point. This is the dropper tool, and basically all it does is it selects your color. So say you need like a color for something, so you just hit select. Obviously, you also have, you know, the color wheel that will show you what color you picked, especially with those little 2 things over there. Like I said, I don't know how this is gonna look when I edit it together, but we're definitely gonna try and see if we can get the entire thing. Next, we're going to talk about layers. The main purpose of these is to use them for different parts of your character while drawing, but also for sketches, line art, and coloring. The top layer is always going to be the main focus. So right now, you can see that I have overlapping ones. So just above layer 1, I have layer 2, which is the cat heads, and just above layer 2, I have layer 3, which is the dragon. This layer 3 is always going to be the top one. So whatever, like, you know, sketch or line art, it's always the one on top of all the other ones is going to be the top. You can obviously use folders if you want to organize your parts more. There's a duplicate and a merge. So the duplicate obviously duplicates the files, copy pastes, and the merge merges all your things together. If you want to make a new layer, you just select the little paper thing down here, and then you hit trash can if you want to delete it. So that just about sums that up. The windows at the top are pretty self-explanatory and aren't used often. So this is just kind of what they do. It's kind of like what you would see in like, you know, oh my goodness, ignore that. You would see this in like art programs and like, yeah, all that fun stuff. Other art programs or writing programs or, yeah. I will be leaving a playlist if you want more details on some of these because I'm still learning a bit myself. But last thing I kind of want to go over is the brush shop. So let me pull this up real quick. Obviously, this is the brush store, so you can go in and you can see that these have some new ones in here. But this is where you can go and download brushes, and you will see them pop up in your brush thing. So let's go in. Let's pick a random one. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have 9 categories: pen, pencil, brush, pattern, effect, nature, artificial, decoration, food, and silhouette. So let's say I'm gonna click on nature, and you can see that it brings me to like a bunch of stuff I can use. So there's like a snowflake spray. All you have to do is click the blue button. It's completely free, and you can hit download, and then it will show up in your brush thing. So there's the brush setting, and let's see what this looks like, because let me make another layer real quick. So yeah, look at that, snowflakes. So now you have new brushes. Hopefully that helps a little bit. Again, sorry if it's rushed. There's just like not much to say since this is supposed to be a somewhat simple video, so. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I'm sorry if this was all over the place. I'm not very good at these types of videos, so it definitely makes me nervous when working on them. Hopefully the tutorials I gave you in the playlist will help you on your art journey. Hope you all have a great day and stay safe out there.